That hymn tune is known as Chester. The words were written by William Billings in the mid to late 18th century, and they capture that period of America's history, our attitude about kings. It was called the first national anthem, and it served to rally the Continental Army as it struggled against the troops of King George III. It became a hallmark of anti-royalism, which then informed too why Enlightenment thinking was enshrined in our nation's founding documents. When, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. When a long train of abuses and usurpations evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. From our formation, then, as an American people, we have seen kings as undesirable. Power, absolute power, should never be vested in one individual. Our American founders enshrined this conviction in our Constitution. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. We, the people, established the government. We, the people, wrote the Constitution. We, the people, separated the powers, the legislative, executive, and judicial powers of the king into three bodies. We, the people, elect our leaders, and when some of we, the people, are dissatisfied with the results, there is talk of recalls, secession, desertion, or maybe emigration to Canada or New Zealand. We, the people, are a group of individuals committed to an ideal rather than to an individual. We, the people, are the government. For 10 generations or more, then, the people of this country have been raised with a disdain for the power of royalty. Despite many Anglophiles' love of the trappings of royalty, the royal weddings in Downton Abbey were fun. And certainly we're not alone in this distrust. Our anti-monarchical revolution became the model for other nations. And even among those who have not thrown off the shackles of royalty, many have turned absolute monarchy into constitutional monarchy. The royal personage becoming a figurehead, while power resides in elected officials. The divine right of kings is a theory of the past. No longer does a monarch owe his or her absolute power to the will of God. No, according to our Declaration of Independence from such a notion, the Creator has endowed all people with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and self-governance. This uneasiness with the power of a king has a much longer history, however, than our national experiment in self-governance. The people of Israel grew weary of governance by charismatic judges who interpreted the will of God. In response to political pressures from without, namely the Philistines, Israel demanded God appoint a king. As we know, Samuel warned them what would happen. He said, "These will be the ways of a king who will reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them to his chariots, and to be his horsemen, and to run before his chariots. And he will take some to plow his ground and to reap his harvest, and to make his implements of war and the equipment for his chariots. He will take your daughters to be perfumers and cooks and bakers. He will take the best of your fields and vineyards and olive orchards and give them to his courtiers. He will take 1/10 of your grain and of your vineyards and give it to his officers and his courtiers. He will take your male and female slaves and the best of your cattle and donkeys and put them to his work. He will take 1/10 of your flocks, and you shall be his slaves. But the people got what they wanted. Occasionally the kings were good and competent. One thinks of David, Solomon, Josiah. The list, however, of bad kings is much longer. And the situation resulting from two such bad kings, Jehoiakim and Jehoiakim, resulted in the woe of this morning's reading from Jeremiah. These rulers were not unifiers, but rather they scattered God's flock. In their place, Jeremiah prophesies, God would eventually establish a new heir of the Davidic line who would reign as king and deal wisely and execute justice and righteousness in the land. Today we mark the ultimate fulfillment of that promise. Today we celebrate the role of the Messiah, the Christ, as king. But for we who have 200 plus years of anti-monarchical sentiment behind us, what does that mean? I doubt any of us here today have ever lived under a system that even approximates the kingdoms of antiquity. Could any of us who pledge allegiance to the flag and the republic for which it stands, or who swear to support and uphold and defend the Constitution, repeat with Peregrine, son of Paladin of the Shire of the Halflings, "Here do I swear fealty and service to the Lord and Steward of the realm of Gondor, to speak and be silent, to do and let be, to come and to go, in need or plenty, in peace or war, in living or dying, from this hour henceforth, until my Lord release me or death take me or the world end." Could any of us swear that? Maybe so, but it would run counter to all of our upbringing and sentiment. On the other hand, something very similar is what we Christians do. At our baptism, we renounce our attachment to prior rulers, Satan, spiritual forces, evil powers, and sinful desires, and we make our pledge of fealty. Do you promise to follow and obey Jesus Christ as your Lord? I do. And we have ample opportunity whenever we renew our baptismal vows to reaffirm that pledge. And we always, every day, have an opportunity to live out that commitment. We place ourselves under a king who, like any other, demands complete obedience, who, like any other king, requires service unto death. But we also place ourselves under a king who acts little like any other king, and whose realm is different from any state. And our king is of a very different order from that described in 1 Samuel. He makes demands, to be sure, but they are demands he is willing to fulfill himself. Samuel's ideal and the Messiah's ancestor, David, was a mighty king, to be sure. But there was a different side to him, one reflected in another composition by William Billings, David's Lamentation, published in the same book as Chester, and demonstrating an alternate notion of kingship. David the king was grieved and moved. He went to his chamber and wept. And as he wept and said, "O my son, O my son, would to God I had died for thee, Absalom, my son." David wished to have taken his son's place in death, even though that son had become his enemy. David's descendant, Christ, our King, set his self-interest aside for the betterment of all, friend and enemy alike. And we who have committed ourselves to his service are directed to do likewise. We do not get to vote whether or not this is a good idea. Regardless of what our Constitution or President tells or asks of us, our baptismal vows come before all else. God is not New England's. Sorry, William Billings. God is not America's. God is no one's possession, no denomination's possession, no party's possession. We, on the other hand, are God's possession, and Christ is our absolute ruler. Outmoded? Feudal? Monarchical? Perhaps. But Jesus Christ is not our president. Christ is our Lord. Christ is our King. And we, his vassals, are to follow him in service to others, even if it leads us as it did him.